Hello. We're here. And we have woken up. Well, if you woke up at 11:30 or later, you've woken up to some interesting news. This video is not, stream is not particularly, I don't care if there's like 5 people here or less. But this is more like, even if you want to watch back, it's cool. But let's dive right in. About an hour ago, or a little bit less than an hour ago, we were informed that Michael Voss is the new Carlton head coach. And he just had a press conference right now also, which, I can see a bit of positivity. I can see a bit of... I mean, it's too early to probably say there's a bit of change, but in saying that, you know, there's a lot of optimism. It's noticeable. But look, I thought today I'd just bring you all together to discuss what was said in that press conference. Also, the other things going on around the club. There's been a few things, circulating. We've got Samo Petrevski-Seaton requesting a trade back home. We've also got, the hiring of CEO Brian Cook, who's obviously got a lot of experience behind him. So that's going to be, something to look forward to if you're a Carlton fan like me. And then, I think like the little underrated back room hirings. We've got Greg Williams, who's been really, it's very clear he's trying to change the attitude of the football club because we've been settling for, a bit too little. And that's why we're not seeing results on the field. But yeah, I think we'll be discussing all that. It won't be too long. We'll cut to the chase. But let's just get started. I rocked up to I don't know when the press conference started. I rocked up a bit late to it, but I've been able to extract a lot of information from it. One of the big things that Michael Voss was stressing was a new game plan. So, I mean, obviously, if you're a Carlton supporter, that's really exciting. He talked about in the press conference a lot of, obviously, disregarding what happened in the past, but also still making a little reference to the past by improving the defense. That's what he wants. So that's going to be, a key thing, obviously. I mean, that's why we sacked David Teague. That's one of the big things. But he said when he was saying that, the emphasis on being very strong defensively to put ourselves into a position to score. And that's, really evident in a few games last year. Our inability to defend meant we didn't have any bounce back. We didn't have any rebound, to help us, get a lot of transition scores, because it was never leaving our back 50. So I think that was really key. I mean, there's a lot of other things, that we need to fix up, but that's one of the key things, especially when we're giving up way too much, over 100 points. We did that on numerous occasions this year, but we continue. Michael Voss stressed 3 key things: reliability, consistency, and durability. So, I mean, this is so applicable to us because durability is a major problem on our list. No one can stay fit. Our good players can't stay fit. Our fringe players can't stay fit. That's a problem. But then once you get them out on the park, it's number one, the reliability. So the ability to, convert execution in training into match simulation and then games. But not only doing that for 1 week, but then doing that for week on after week. And that's where the consistency thing comes in. So I think the fact that Michael Voss said something like that shows that he sort of knows what's going on here. It makes sense. But he also mentioned, stressing a lot on the cultural side of things. And even Luke Sayers said this. He did say that you need to go down before you go back up. And he sort of described it a reset. So, we've had to go, down in the dumps as Carlton supporters. We sacked Teague. We sacked our CEO. No clear path ahead. And then we were able to, you know, I mean, Michael Voss probably wasn't our number one selection. I mean, it was every Carlton supporter's dream to get Alistair Clarkson, but I didn't want Ross Lyon. We didn't get him. We got Michael Voss. And Michael Voss, he's got a lot of experience behind him. So it's a pretty, I mean, it's a decent coup. And then you've got Brian Cook, who's been, and he's been around the football industry for ages. He's ancient, but he's been around a lot of successful AFL organizations. Teams that have made grand finals. So that, has to be a positive. Has to be. So it's good we got our man there as CEO, and I think what Luke Sayers also said was that he's sort of contributed to like the fire in the belly. I don't know, it doesn't really make sense. You have to watch the press conference for yourself, but sort of the fact that these two signings have, given the players something to be excited about. It started with a little cultural dip. It's gone back up. And, the fact that we've brought an experienced head, well, two experienced heads to the football club, they've complemented, brilliantly. They complement each other brilliantly. And the fact, this experience will, I guess, I mean, what was said was that it's going to change the tone culturally. And that's something really important because, as I said, and I mean, it's no secret, we're in an absolute shambles for quite a period of time. So it's good we've been able to rectify that. It's a start. Voss has already been in calls with, the players. He's been in Zoom meetings. It seems like he's invested, and he's a Carlton supporter, or was a Carlton supporter when he was younger. So he's got that little link there. But he rates the list highly. He knows that he can get something better out of them. It's just, executing that, which is, it has always been the major problem. So, I mean, hopefully he's able to, bring out the best. But I think if we talk about it, like me personally, I'm not opposed, nor am I for it. I want to see results. And look, I mean, Michael Voss knows what he's talking about. He's been around a very good system in, Port Adelaide, they've made finals. We haven't made finals for 8 or so years. Michael Voss has probably made finals with Port Adelaide for years and years. Yeah, I mean, way more than Carlton ever have. So, yeah, I think it's really positive that we're bringing in something different. David Teague was a completely different coach. Had never had the main coaching job before. A lot of pressure put onto him. He started mid-season. He never had a proper full season to get a full run at it. So it was very stiff, to that, in that way, that he got sacked ultimately. But yeah, I think we needed someone, a bit more experienced with a bit more backing. And we've done that through Voss and also Brian Cook. Luke Sayers, he's also said in the press conference that even if, he said we're going to make finals next year, that's the expectation. If we don't, but we see him, if they see improvement, it's not the end all, be all, really. Which is, I mean, I don't know if Carlton supporters will settle for that, but, it's good to see that we're going to stick with them if shit doesn't go, our way. Because we've pulled the pin a bit too early on numerous occasions for years on end. Brett Ratton and now David Teague. Could be a big mistake. David Teague, fair play to him. He's got another job at the Tigers, in case you didn't know. So, he deserves another opportunity somewhere, and he's gotten it. He'll probably get another head coaching gig, learning his past mistakes whenever that happens. But, let's not take this away from what we're actually talking about here. But yeah, I can say that I'm probably happy with this. We didn't get Ross, but we got Voss. And yeah, I didn't want Voss or Ross. Fuck. Yeah, we got it. But regardless, I think we should talk a little bit about the other stuff. First of all, Greg Williams and David Parkin. David Parkin was involved in the coaching selection. I believe Greg Williams is the director of football at the club. And these two are linked to our success. Well, our last, taste of a premiership in 1995. Obviously, I wasn't, alive for that. But Greg Williams, he's got the tough edge. You know it. If you go back and watch him, he's got it. So he's gonna, let them know, let the players know that we ain't settling for less than, what we served up last year, because last year was pretty abysmal at times. And then David Parkham was the coach, the pioneer of that era where we were so powerful. I mean, in that 95 season, we lost 2 games all year. I act as if I was alive for it. I wasn't. But the fact that we're getting these two around the football club, involved in the culture, the identity, it's very clear that in this whole selection process, first the sacking and now the selection, it's very clear that we've made an emphasis on, not settling for, mediocrity and trying to get the best out of the players. It's just, it's integral for success. And if you're not hard, you're not holding players accountable, they're not gonna improve. So I think, one thing that I think needs to be done is the fact that if players do something well, the coach, Voss, he has to make sure that he doesn't settle for that. He needs to make sure that, when we do something good, when we're up by 20 points, you don't settle for the 20-point lead. You don't hold that lead. You go for more. You go for better. You try to get the best out of your players. And you do that week in, week out, and keep building as a football club, because that'll ultimately bring you success. It's very simple. But look, I think, these signings, that's what you could call it, I think we're on the right track. Initially, it was a very rocky start, but in saying that, I think, we've shown a bit of positivity in what we're trying to do. It's very clear there's a change in mindset. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with what's going on at the moment. We're not sitting around on our asses and doing nothing. We're not settling for mediocrity. I don't think people would have predicted Michael Voss when Teague got sacked, but I can't complain. And look, Michael Voss, he wasn't overly successful at Brisbane, but in saying that, ultimately, I think he was able to bring a bit of improvement out of that team. I think his record's okay. Let me just have a quick look for you. He took a 42 and 64 record with 1 draw. So he's not, he was 34 when he was coaching. So he was very similar to David Teague. Younger, which is fairly surprising. But yeah, so obviously not an ideal record, but in saying that, not too bad. But yeah, since 2014, he's been with the Power. So he's been able to, get a lot of experience under his belt, a lot of learning. He stresses authenticity, backing of, a coaching philosophy that, you endorse, which is really important, that you trust yourself as a coach. I think David Teague would have been doubting himself a lot because of all the shit he was copying in the media. So I think that's really, a really important thing to possess. But yeah, so, as I said, I can't be complaining. Let's talk a little bit more about some other things. Assistant coaches, they're all gone. John Barker, Dale Amos, Brent Stanton, Cam Bruce, all gone. Very interesting to see who the replacements for those people are. Because, whether, I think Voss was entertaining the thought. There was a little question that I think the journos were trying to bait him out into giving him or giving out some possible assistant coach candidates, but, he was saying, you can't give that away. But in saying that, I think we could look to get some good assistant coaches in that have been around some good systems. Just a fresh start. I think that's really good. This is going to be a completely different coaching panel next year. And I think what I said in my Carlton rant, if you want to watch that, it's on the channel, in response to David T getting sacked. Basically, I said that we needed to wipe the assistant coach panel. They're all linked to our mediocre time, the 2016s, 2015s, that really dark time in the club's history. We needed to get rid of all connections from there, and we've done that. We got rid of Teague, but personally, I wouldn't have done that, but it looks like we're gone with a completely fresh start, a completely clean slate, a new cultural identity with some experienced names to lead the charge, which is, as I said, a very positive thing. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't say that this is negative. I think this is all for the better. Obviously, it needs to convert to on field, but yeah, I mean, Michael Voss, as I said, he's entertained the idea of him, luring some people he knows over to the football club. Even in, coaching candidate talks, John Syracuse and Andrew McQualter, also former players in the AFL, they were coaching candidates to get the main job. I'm happy they didn't get the main job, but they're probably, I mean, they're credible if they're getting thrown up in the Carlton job. So, they could possibly come to the club as assistants if they've, been in discussions for the main job. Even Adam Kingsley, I don't think he'll leave because he's a Richmond assistant, so I don't know why you would leave Richmond for Carlton, but yeah, as I said, very clear we're going with the idea that we want a clean slate, we want to start fresh, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Anyone new to the stream, make sure to like the show if you're enjoying this little analysis. Make sure to share your thoughts in the chat as well. I'm interested to see what you think of the Voss appointment. But yeah, also, I think we should talk a little bit about Sam Petrevski's seat. And Samo is just one of those guys that I'm going to... I mean, a lot of people are going to regret when he leaves and he tears it up at whatever club he's at. Like West Coast. I mean, I think he wants more midfield time, but he's not going to get a role at West Coast. I don't see him breaking into the best 22 for the Eagles because they've got Cully, Yo, Shuey, Gaff. There's so many big names there. Like, I can't see him breaking into the side, especially with his work ethic. Maybe he needs a bit of a fresh start to, get a little bit of a kick up the arse, so he then actually tries, builds his fitness, because that was just a major problem at Carlton. Like, there's really dinky, careless kicks, and then getting gassed after like 2 minutes of game time. That's not what we want. It's not what we want. And yeah, I think Samo, if he wants to get in the best 22 at the Eagles, he's got to have the drive, and he hadn't shown that at the Baggers for, I mean, the 5 years he's been there, which is just nuts. He's been there for 5 years. But anyone new to the stream, welcome to the stream. We've just been discussing the Michael Voss appointments and all the changes surrounding the Carlton Football Club. Make sure to drop a like on the stream. But yeah, as I was saying, Samo, I mean, this has been the problem with us. We've drafted too many midfielders. I played them out of position because we don't have the space in the middle. Liam Stocker is another victim of that. I'm really worried that they've stunted his development by putting him in the back line. But at the same time, he has been very solid in the back line. He's played on smalls, some really good smalls, like probably the best small forward. He's been taking that assignment, but I hope he gets more midfield time because he's an absolute bull. And, given the opportunity, I think he could do some major damage at the club, for the club against other teams. I think it could be really beneficial for him. But yeah, it's even with Paddy Dow earlier in the year. He was played up forward. That's not where he belongs. Oh, that voice crack was bad. He's not playing where he belongs. But then we saw glimpses like that Carlton Fremantle first half. when there was like 11,000 fans at the MCG for a Fremantle home game. That was nuts. Like, his delivery inside the forward 50 was absolutely subliminal. I love that word. But, you know, stuff like that. We've been missing out on that. We're crying out for good delivery inside forward 50, and we were playing this guy in the forward 50. He wasn't doing the delivery. So, yeah. But Samo even has that ability. And he hasn't been able to showcase it. I mean, a couple of years ago, he went nuts in a game against Collingwood, where I think he kicked a couple goals, maybe a goal, and had 35 touches or something like that. When has that happened? I think this year he averaged 14 disposals, which is way down on his career numbers, I think. But look, yeah, a fresh start is probably the best thing for him. I don't know what would get in return. I think he's a free agent as well, unrestricted. So we probably, I mean, I don't know what the deal is. Do you get like a sign and, like in NBA terms, a sign and trade where you sign the player and then deal them off so you can get something for the player? I don't really know. But yeah, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on Samo and his development, his play, his potential? If he went to another club, what's he gonna achieve? I mean, look, I'm happy to see him go, but then I also really have like this part of me that's telling me you had to play the guy. You lost your opportunity. You know, it sucks, but I'm really curious to hear your thoughts, because I'm assuming the people who are new here, thanks for tuning into the stream, by the way. Thanks for joining. Make sure to share your thoughts in the chat about the Voss appointment. But also, yeah, Samo. What are your thoughts on Samo? Because, yeah, he's a bit of a, what do they call it? An enigma? What's the word? A stigma. Stigma. I don't know. It's something, it's one of those words. He's a mystery, basically. Yeah, we'll never see the true colors, and I think that's going to be the case with a lot of players. But yeah, anyone new to the stream enjoying this, make sure to drop a like on the show. Nobody you know says too inconsistent, get him out, might help him at another club. And I think, yeah, I mean, it's probably the best thing for both parties. We need to get something in return for him, but there's not a place for him to function probably at his peak, at his standard. But even going to West Coast, I don't think he's going to achieve that. I think he's going to be a fringe player, much similar to, you know, how he's been at Carlton, you know, for the last couple of years. Obviously, it's very clear that we're not settling for nothing, pretty much. With, you know, holding players accountable. There's been a lot of emphasis on that in press conferences. But, you know, getting rid of Samo, I think, helps the cause in that department. But, yeah, it's a really iffy debate. Really iffy debate. But, yeah, I can say that this football club, like, it seems like it's making the moves. It's going the right direction. George Hewett, it also looks like he's coming to the club on a $400,000 deal per year, I think. I don't know what you guys think of that signing, because George Hewett, he plays midfield as a tagger, like a really annoying tagger, especially if you're a fantasy player and he tags your player out. But he also plays like backline, but it's a really weird position he plays, because he'll play like back pocket or half back, but not really, you know, he won't really do much. He'll take their, like, he doesn't do like a defensive shutdown role, like, let's say he doesn't take the best small forward. He's not like a Brandon Starcevic or someone like that, or like a Jed Buse. He's like, I don't know what he is. So I don't know why we're getting him in. If he's for depth, then cool. But I don't think George Hewett's going to Carlton to get depth. I think he wants the game time, as most of you, if you're in the AFL, that's what you'd want. So that's another really interesting topic. I don't really get the logistics of that signing. Then there's Adam Cerra. I mean, Adam Cerra, it is what it is. Like, we wanted to do the swap with Samo, but Samo wants West Coast. So, I mean, I've seen somewhere like people saying, oh, why can't we do a 3-team deal? Well, it's not that simple. I mean, we were trying to get Tom Papley a couple of years ago, and even though it wasn't a direct 3-team deal, I think Sydney were being, you know, they were being stinkers, basically. They weren't letting us get Papley because they wouldn't get Danaher themselves. They were being really tough in that department. And that basically prevented us. So do you really think a 3-team deal is going to work if a 2-team deal can't work when you're relying on another team to get the job done? Like, teams just, yeah. I mean, you can, if you're in that position where hold the key to another deal, especially if it's a good player going to a rival club, you don't want that to happen. So obviously you're going to, be a little bit bitchy about it. But yeah. So Jonathan Rayson Hill, welcome to the show. He said, I'm not sure what Samo will do for West Coast if he goes. And yeah, that's what I've said. I don't think there's a place for him there if he wants to play midfield minutes. He can probably play half-back. I mean, Alex Witherden went there for opportunities on, half-back, because he wasn't getting a role at Brisbane, when he was there, a couple of years, he was in their best 22, but he couldn't get a spot there. He was on the fringe, and then, went to West Coast, and he was in and out of that side as well. I think he'd be lucky if he played more than 15 games. I don't think he did. But yeah, I think Samo has the same, it's the same idea. And even if I think he plays half back, I don't know if he has the role there. It's not his natural position. I mean, I'm happy for Adam Simpson and his coaching staff to prove me otherwise, but I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. So, yeah. It's, as I said, very up in the air. Very up in the air. But what were we talking about before? We were talking about, Adam Cerra and that whole deal going through. Yeah, it's just a really sticky situation to be in. I don't know if we give up like a Zach Fisher or a Paddy Dowell or whatnot. Is Cerra a free agent? Not sure on the details. Not a lot of info in Queensland. Mate, I hope you're enjoying Queensland because down here in Melbourne, it's shit. Cerra is not a free agent, I don't believe. Because we're trying to lure him in. I think he's contracted. And Fremantle are demanding a lot for him. I'm not sure if there's that many years left on the deal, but yeah, I think he is a free agent. I think. I mean, we'll just double check this for the viewers. Adam Cerra free. I should know this as a Carlton supporter. This is pretty depressing of me. Okay, no, he has not locked in a deal. So he is. I think he may be a restricted free agent. So he is a free agent. Okay. Well, I'm not too sure why we need to pay a lot for him then. Because, there's been a lot of discussion. Pick 6. Zach Fisher. Samo. Paddy Dowell. A lot of names, going through the rumour mill. But, nothing definitive. So, I think we're gonna have to give up a lot for Cerra because, Fremantle, if they were able to get pick 2 for Lockie Weller, like, they're gonna want overs. A lot of overs for Adam Cerra. Because Adam Cerra is probably better than Lockie Weller, I mean, obviously. So, yeah. But as I said, very difficult to get him out of there. But, that's another thing. I mean, what other names have been thrown around? There's been a few a few iffy names floating around. But look, I honestly don't think, this is what I'm going to say, I don't think Carlton need anyone. I don't think they need anyone. I think we have the list to make the top 6. We just don't have, as I said, Michael Voss's words, not mine, consistency, reliability, and durability. We don't have those 3. So, That's going to be the key to success, pretty much. Michael Voss knows better than any Carlton supporter, any Carlton coach, any Carlton player, because I mean, what is success? What is success? Yeah, look, I think that's the key. I think that's the key. Getting those three right, and then yeah, I don't think we need any shake-up. It would not make sense to bring in like a George Hewett. It's just a waste of money on the payroll. When we can, I mean, Cerra, if we can get him in, major coup. But then what? You're going to shove another good player, another good promising player that we've developed out. Liam Stocker is guaranteed not getting minutes in the middle ever if Adam Cerra joins. Paddy Dow's going to struggle to get minutes if, Cerra joins. Zach Fisher probably won't get midfield minutes. Gibbons won't get midfield minutes. Michael Gibbons belongs in the middle. That's where he played in Williamstown. For like years, he won the VFL BNF from the middle, and he barely plays minutes in the AFL there. So, bit of a list management nightmare by our lot. But yeah, what can you do? Anyone new to the stream, make sure to drop a like. If you're enjoying this little discussion. But yeah, feel free to share your thoughts in the chat on what you thought about, all the recent Carlton news. That is Brian Cook, that is Michael Voss, that is Petrevski-Seton, that is George Hewett, that is the assistant coach sackings, that is... There's been a lot. There's been a lot in the media. So thanks everyone for tuning in on this, early afternoon. This isn't usually when I stream or, even film shit. It doesn't really come out till 4 o'clock. If you haven't seen my grand final predictions, that's also on the channel. And if you want to subscribe to the show so you're tuned in for the grand final this weekend, where we will be streaming that as well, go ahead. But yeah, make sure to, share your thoughts on this whole debacle. Yeah, because it's a pretty interesting topic. But I overall, I think I've said it a couple times on the stream. And I will continue to say it. Michael Voss, I think he can get the best out. He's been around a high performance coaching system that's achieved. I mean, you can't really say they've achieved success because they haven't won a flag, but the Power are better than us by a long way. So, those three things that he's mentioned, the consistency, durability, and reliability, is so key. I said it earlier in the show. If any of you are new, the durability is first of all getting people on the park. Then it's about, being reliable on the field and being able to execute your role at a high standard, and then being able to do that week after week contributes to the consistency element. So it's about doing those three things. Really, that's the key. And then obviously it's about culture and how that's built. Bringing in Brian Cook is an experienced coup. Luke Sayers has said that, we have to go down before we go back up. And evidently, a lot of Carlton supporters were down in the dumps when T got sacked, said he didn't deserve it. And then we also got rid of Kane Little, the CEO. And we were like, well, we got rid of these guys thinking we're going to get others. Clarko, for example. We didn't come prepared with a plan B. Voss apparently was our plan B. But we've had to go all the way to the bottom of the bottom to, get back up. And the Carlton players are excited, apparently. Luke Sayers described it, a fire in the belly. There's been a bit of a cultural shift because we've got these experienced heads that have got a lot of success behind them. There's a lot of optimism within the club. So I think as a Carlton supporter, I mean, I'm optimistic. I don't want to get ahead of myself because, sometimes I get excited and then, yeah, it goes downhill very, very quickly. And I mean, evidently, it's shown in the past. Oh God, I need a drink. But, yeah, I think I think ultimately, I mean, Michael Voss said it starts with the people. So it's about, the culture you build. It's about the connections you have. And I mean, David Teague, that was one of his really strong points. So I think that's not going to go away. But I think it's more about the work done up the top. And we've seen with Greg Williams and David Parkin, they're not settling for less. They were a part of the selection process for the coach. So they want someone that's going to, endorse a bit of a tougher mindset. Michael Voss was a really good player as well. That probably epitomizes that. Obviously, I mean, I didn't really get to see him play. But yeah, I think it's all in the right direction. And Greg Williams and David Parkin are both from our last premiership, so that's going to really assist, us going from the ground back to the top. Jonathan has said it will be interesting to see what Voss does with positional changes. Yeah, there's a lot of places where players should be playing that they aren't. As I said, Stocker should not be playing where he is. Dow was out of position. Gibbons has been playing out of position. Lockie O'Brien can't even get a gig in the senior side. He has not been re-signed, along with Gibbons. So, I mean, I really hope that we re-sign those two. We've seen Jack Silvani re-sign, which is a really good re-signing. Who else? Mark Pitnet. We need the ruck depth. We still don't have Matt Kennedy re-signed, which we need to get onto, because he's been very strong. Brody Kemp has re-signed, so hopefully he can get a full season under his belt. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of our list management in years gone by that we've gotten too many midfielders. I don't think our list is a problem. I think we have strengths in every position. It's more the depth. It's like the likes of Matty Cottrell, who hasn't re-signed. He's probably gone. Jack Nunes, he's probably got to go. Just the guys down the bottom. I think Matt Owies hasn't re-signed, but he's got to re-sign. He's been very good. It's just those little fringe guys. They shouldn't be getting games, and if they do, there needs to be a bit better. And I think that's probably why we've gone for a George Hewett type. But I mean, spending $400,000 to $500,000 for a player who's gonna have a Jack Nunes role seems awfully overpaid. Nobody, Voss says, he says Voss was one of the best captains of all time. If you get a chance, go and watch the 3 grand finals. He was captain, absolute gun. I mean, yeah, he's been a part of a lot of success. 4 grand finals in a row from 01 to 04. 3 of those being flags, the three-peat, probably better than the Hawks three-peat. That's just a guess. But yeah, I mean, talk about leadership. I mean, Michael Voss epitomizes that in, if you go in the dictionary and you search up leadership, he's probably somewhere around there. So he knows the leadership. He knows what success looks like. And I think that's part of what we've done that's been a part of the thought process, bringing these guys in. Brian Cook, he's been around, I think, West Coast with Mick Malthouse, Geelong, the last few years. I'm going to actually do a Google search on that because I'm not very knowledgeable as a Carlton's fan. If you're enjoying this, make sure to like the show. I hope you're enjoying it. But yeah. Also, quick observation. I've just seen a tweet that I forgot to mention. Luke Power got I believe the coach's assistant coach of the year, which I mean is quite surprising given how dire our Carlton supporter or our Carlton assistant coach line was. But I think he was the development coach, and he did a very good job. Well, obviously, but he's got to go into a coaching job now. Surely he's an assistant. It makes a lot of sense. To bring him in, because look at the accreditation he's got. He's got the backing of other coaches around the league. But here we go. We've got 1990 is his first year where he was the CEO of the Eagles, and they've won flags in the 90s. So probably early 90s. I think 92 or 93. And then he was appointed as CEO of the Cats in 99. So they were originally a club struggling with finances. So he helped with that. And then supported Mark Thompson because, I mean, he was the former coach of the Cats, in the late 2000s, early 2010s, I believe, before Chris Scott took over about a decade ago. Yeah. So he's been around two organizations that have experienced premierships. And, I mean, hopefully, you look back on history, hopefully you can bring that success to us. I think it's just a really positive coup. But yeah. So, yeah. I mean, share your thoughts in the chat. I'm interested to hear. If you're new to the stream, make sure to like the show. I hope you're enjoying the discussion here. I just hit my mic. Whoops. But yeah, I hope you're enjoying the stream. We will be doing a grand final stream on the weekend. So if you want to tune in for that, we'll probably start from about 7 o'clock. That'll be good. Put your predictions for the weekend's game in the chat as well if you want. We'll discuss that a little bit. I think I've said all I need to say, so we'll discuss your thoughts in the chat if you've got any. Yeah, but I think I need to have a quick sip of water. A little sip of water. Yeah, I can't wait for the grand final. It doesn't feel like it, but yeah, bit of a shame that we couldn't have it at the home of football, the MCG. But yeah, I mean, also, sorry. Nobody you know says, when do you stream normally? Just stumbled across your channel. I usually just do the, well, I did the prelim finals. I'm going to do the grand final. I did the Brownlow medal the other night, where a lot of people had problems, because for some stupid reason, Channel 7 decided, nah, we're not going to put it on, like, any online streaming platform. We live in 1990, in 2021, so you have to find another way, if you don't have access to an aerial. So, yeah, a lot of people stumbled across my channel that way. But I plan to do, when I'm not going to the games, I plan to do Carlton streams next year. Any big games next year, I plan to do those. And then also, I am a Brooklyn Nets supporter, as shown by the beanie I got on. So when the NBA season starts, I will also be covering the Brooklyn Nets games and be doing live watch-alongs of those. But really, I think, just to sum up your question, it's probably when I'll stream when there's like something that, as a fan, I can engage to, like today. I was going to record this, but then I was like, screw it. We've got to get onto it nice and early when the news is fresh. Yeah, but if you've got any other questions, I'm happy to answer those. And then we'll probably wrap this thing up. Because, yeah, I think everything that, got to be discussed, has been discussed. But yeah, any other questions? Yeah, I couldn't stream the Brownlow on Carol 7, pretty crap. I mean, yeah, 7 Plus or 7 Mate didn't let you do that, but normal Channel 7 TV did it. And that's why I've just invested in like a TV tuner, so I can watch games, or I can watch Channel 7 from my computer. I'm trying to see if I can get that to happen. So yeah, it's a bit technical, and I've got to rely on Google to do all that. But, yeah, hopefully that'll work, for the start of next year, because I always get delay watching live Channel 7 games on KO, because it's like a delayed reaction from the other Carlton supporters in the house. their reaction is like 10 seconds before mine because, well, I get spoiled. So, yeah, it's pretty depressing. That's why I've got to get the tuna. Hopefully the next 5 years of our 26-year plan will be better. Yeah, I hope so. I haven't witnessed the premiership in my life. I mean, I haven't really experienced final success since I was, I was at that stage of my Carlton supporter life where if we were losing by 5 goals, I'd cry and beg to go home at like 3/4 time because I was just depressed. But we've gone past that, and now we just embrace the disappointment because it's expected. It's expected as a Carlton supporter. So yeah, what can you do? What can you do as a Carlton supporter? It's just really depressing. Yeah, I mean, you guys would know. You guys would know if you're a Carlton supporter. But yeah, I mean, anyone who's shown support on the video today, thank you for doing that. As I said, we've got the grand final stream on Saturday. Get excited for that. We will be streaming it right here from, I believe, 7 o'clock, maybe a little bit prior. Last week I was speaking to myself for 10 minutes without starting the stream, so that was a bit depressing. Yeah, but yeah, let's hope we don't make that same mistake again. Make sure to drop a like on the stream if you've enjoyed this one. But look, I think that'll be it. Unless you have any last words, yeah, that's probably it from me. I wasn't supposed to stream anything today or record anything. I just wanted to rest up, but Carlton had to come through with some big news, and I had to report on it. So we got that. But yeah, I'm going to wait a minute or two, see if anyone has something to say. Anyone showing their support, thank you. Make sure to subscribe to the show if you want to see some more. I mean, to know when the grand final tune or what is it? The grand final stream is starting on Saturday night. Thank you for, the couple of people that have subscribed to the show, or the 7 people who have liked the video / stream. I can't get that right. But yeah, I'll just wait a little bit longer. I think you can watch it back. I hope you can watch it back. Yeah, you can watch it back. So if you missed anything that I said earlier on in the stream, make sure to do that. If you're interested. Yeah. I'm 51. First 25 years, I went a 70 or 7 grannies, 70. And we won 5. Second 25 years, 1 granny, no wins. My poor kids must think I'm mad. Yeah, I think your kids would be very envious of you. I'm envious of my dad, who's seen so many damn premierships, living in the golden age of the 70s and the 80s. I mean, how many flags did we win then? Like, far out. I should also know this. There was like, I reckon, a stage where we won like 3 and 4 years. The grand final stream will start at about 7, I reckon. Yeah, about 7. Okay, so we won 3 flags in the 70s and 3 flags in the 80s. Imagine winning 6 flags in 20 years. Far out. That is a dynasty without winning a 3-peat or something like that. It's pretty absurd, and that's why we've won the most flags in the league. But that'll soon change when Essendon decide to propel themselves up the ladder and give themselves a good shot. Hopefully we can follow suit. That's why I'm so envious of Brisbane and what they've been able to achieve. A couple of years ago they were in the same position as us, with the same youthful team. They drafted correctly, and look what they've been able to achieve. The perfect balance of experience and youth Dane Zorko is tearing it up, and then you've got McCluggage, Bailey, Charlie Cameron. That was a class signing. Jared Lyons, neglected by the Gold Coast Suns. I don't know why you'd get rid of Lyons. He actually played well at the Suns, and they just got rid of him. Before that, he was at the Crows, so I reckon both those teams could do with him right now. But yeah, I just hope for improvement next year. If we finish 9th, it's going to be agonizing, but I'll see the improvement. It'll probably be the consistency that does us in again if we finish like 11 and 11. But we just can't have another season of like a 13th place finish. We can't. And these Carlton players have re-signed because they trust what we're doing. They understand that we're doing a little reset. I think they have confidence in what's going on behind the scenes, these hirings. It's very clear that you have made a conscious decision to get rid of these people in light of, the grand result, if that makes sense. Yeah. But I think that's ultimately why these players are resigned. Patrick Cripps has not re-signed to Carlton to, get like 6th, 10th place finishes in a row. Like, he's not done it for that. He's done it because he trusts the football club. Also another thing, just before, I was supposed to leave, but we're still going. Sam Doherty, should he be the co-captain next year? Because I feel like his performance was very down, very disappointing for a Carlton captain. Like, a lot of uncharacteristic errors from, those years, a couple seasons ago. Some of his performances were just absolutely brilliant. Especially in our darker days, he's been leading without being the leader, and I think he would probably benefit from being a vice captain or something. I think Cripper should be the main captain, accept the responsibility, because I feel like at times, I don't know if this contributed, but I'm gonna make a bold call here and say that Patrick Cripps as co-captain didn't feel like the responsibility was all his. He sort of, I feel like he didn't embrace it like he should have if he was the sole captain. Like, Bontempelli has embraced it, Gawn has embraced it, and look where they are. So, yeah. That's just an observation of mine. I don't know. That's an opinion. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but it's got 3 A's at the end. Thanks for subbing, but he says Voss will harden the players up, and yeah, I hope so too. He's got a pretty tough mentality. He was a tough player. He's been around a good Port Adelaide system, and there's been a lot of discussion within the club. The people that have hired Michael Voss, they've been tough players in the past, or they've been a part of systems that endorse a tough, hard edge. And there's been a lot of discussion about accountability throughout the whole way through. Prior to the selection process, in the selection process, when we sacked Teague, all of that. Doherty's disposals are the problem. Yeah, a lot of just uncharacteristic turnovers, just some really questionable shit across the course of the year. I think he's just got to... I think he'd benefit from having less responsibility on his shoulders. Travis spoke. We've seen what he's been able to do when he got rid of the captaincy, when he just got thrown back into the middle. We've seen what he can do. Thanks for the stream. We'll tune in Saturday while watching Go Baggers. Always, mate. Go Baggers. But yeah, I think that's going to be everything from me. I don't want to get this stream over an hour because I don't know how I've dragged it out this far. But make sure to like the stream if you've gone on to enjoy it. Thanks everyone for tuning in. It's been a good stream. As I said, we will be doing a grand final stream from about 7 o'clock on Saturday. Yeah, I just mind blank for a second. But yeah, we will be doing it from about 7 o'clock on Saturday. Make sure to like the stream and subscribe to the show so you're ready for the grand final stream and other sports content I'm doing on the channel for the coming weeks. But yeah, that's gonna be all from me. Yeah. Thanks for all the support on the show today. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it. So, as I said, thank you all for watching. Yeah, have a great rest of your day. And we'll see you on the grand final stream in a couple days' time. Thanks. Peace out. Go Baggers.